Welcome back to the Real Estate Sitdown, presented by WB Homes and the Pemberton Home Team. This is episode 34, and I am Blair Berg. I have to apologize if I look a little worse for the wear. I don't sound great. I've been a little under the weather this week, but going to power through. Show should be just fine. At the time of recording, today is Thursday, January 18th, 2023, and the interest rate for a 30-year conventional loan is 6.89%. Again, that's 0.1% higher than last week's show. Someone in the comment section too was talking about how their interest rate went up by, their mortgage went up by $500. I don't know if they were implying property taxes, insurance, but as long as you have a 30-year conventional fixed rate mortgage, your mortgage shouldn't be going up. So yeah, commenter, if you see this, feel free to comment back and let me know what's going on with that situation. I did respond to that comment in the comment section. But first we will go through I Saw It Online. Today's I Saw It Online is a sequel, I guess you could call it. A few weeks ago, we did an episode on there's a really beautiful house in my neighborhood, and the sellers are doing it for sale by owner, which perfectly fine. That's your own prerogative if you don't want to use an agent. But they took the pictures themselves too, and the pictures were not great. And we talked about just if you're not going to use an agent, please use a professional photographer. Well, lo and behold, I'm to no one's surprise, the house never actually sold. And I saw, driving through my neighborhood today, it's actually listed by an agent now. So same price, everything, but I have a lot of confidence that it'll sell quicker now that we're getting into spring, and the new pictures are beautiful. Like I said, I love this house. I'm actually going to plug the last episode in so we can everyone can be on the same page with that. I was shocked at how bad the photos were. And it's too bad, like I said. My girlfriend and I drive by it all the time, and we say it's our dream house in our neighborhood. Right. And the photos were clearly on an iPhone. I'll plug some into the video here just as I'm talking so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. But the cover photo was, like, the very first photo they choose to lead off with was dark. It was from across the street. You couldn't even really see what you were looking at. A lot of the photos are like close up of the yard, which I think they're trying to show that they have like wild flowers growing, but it makes the yard look overgrown. Most of the pictures don't show the home. Most of them are like from pictures from their boat, because it is on a lake, but it's pictures like from the boat looking at different things. Some of them are like just fireworks from our 4th of July on the lake.
It's a rough one.
And yeah, I just thought, I'm sorry if you're listening to this in an audio only format, because I'm just going to go through some of the pictures here, but I'll describe them as well. So before, they used to have their first photo was a dark picture from across the street of the front of their house, kind of side of their front of their house. Now they have one from the very front yard, and it's amazing. Like I said, it's a horseshoe driveway, so you can come through there, and it really showcases that. The next one's a drone shot from the air, which is really nice because it's on a lake, so it shows the water. And then once they get into the house, the pictures are just very bright. It looks like they maybe even staged the home a little bit, which is great. We'll talk about staging a little bit later. Showcases their 3-season porch. They have a really nice master bathroom. Again, I'm going to plug some of these photos in, the ones that I described, so you guys can kind of get a picture for that. It's a great backyard. I'm just glad that, obviously, I wish they would have used me as their agent, but that's perfectly fine too. I'm glad that they got with an agent that got them some good pictures, because now it looks fantastic. So here's to them, and hopefully it sells quickly. But again, guys, just use that as a lesson. If you're going to do for sale by owner, that's perfectly fine. But a professional photographer, and maybe other agents won't tell you this, they want to make it sound more difficult, but it's only $500, $600 if you do the whole package. So get that. They'll get you some drone shots, get you some video tours. It'll look great, and your house will sell much quicker. So next, we are going to go to the comment section. This first comment was on a video that I had posted about lower interest rates, kind of putting a chokehold on our real estate market. And I explained in the video the reason that is because, during the pandemic when people were buying houses at 2% or 2.5%, 3% interest rates on their mortgage, now those people don't want to move their homes. So now we have less inventory in the market because people don't want to sell. So when there's a lack of inventory, price goes up. It's just supply and demand. And I might not be understanding the comment, but maybe it's just miscommunication all around because maybe the commenter doesn't seem like really understood what I was saying. But the comment says, this doesn't make sense. They will have to buy again. Only the dead keeping their homes affect the market. And I'm just trying to decipher that one. When they say they will have to buy again, no one has to buy again. There are circumstances where you have to move for a job, you get a divorce, you have more kids, the house can't fit everybody. Then there are situations where, yes, you have to move. But, as we all know, people having kids is at an all-time low right now, and there are a lot of people that buy a house that was big enough for them, and they would love to upgrade, but they're just like, why would I give up this interest rate? Why would I give up 2.5% to move to a 6.5%? So, and only the dead keeping their homes affect the market. I mean, I don't really understand that comment because the dead's homes they're being inherited by their family members, and the family members either have to keep paying that mortgage or they have to pay, if it's paid off, they have to pay the property taxes and insurance on that. So they're either going to move in or they're going to sell it, so only the dead keeping their homes affects the market. It's actually the opposite. When people are dying, that's one of the ways that inventory is re-entering the market. So again, if you want more clarification on that, comment back. I'd love to get more understanding what you meant there. And then moving forward, the next comment is on a video that we had discussed a little bit last week too, that ruffled some feathers with some people online. And it was about the affordability as a first-time home buyer. How much do you need to make to buy your first home? And someone replied with, now let's talk about the average number of new homeowners that lose their home because they can't afford to keep up with the payments. And that is a great point. We should take a look at that number because although this year we are up in foreclosures, we're up to 185,000. Last year was 164,000. In 2021, it was 65,000. But as we know, during the pandemic, there was forbearance. They were cutting a little bit more slack there, so that's why foreclosures were low. But if you take a look at this graph, before the pandemic, we are at very low foreclosure rates right now compared to pre-pandemic rates. So when we're talking about people not being able to afford their payments and losing out on their home, it's actually a lot lower historically than it usually is. So affordability is actually at a high. I understand where people get confused with that because, yes, it does seem like our dollar isn't going as far as it used to, but foreclosures are actually down historically. So that's a good thing, a little bit of assurance for first-time home buyers out there. And there are a lot of programs out there that are out there to help you keep your home. I know it probably sounds too good to be true, but banks want you to stay in your home so you can keep making those payments. So they'll usually be able to help you out there a little bit. Next, we will get into FAQs. And I get this question a lot from sellers. So they often ask me, is it better to sell my home staged or vacant? And I say staged every single time. So it's one thing if you're selling your home while you're still living in it. Obviously, it's going to have your stuff in it still. But let's say you've already moved on to your next place and you have the option to, leave some furniture there or hire a stager to have them stage the property for you. Is it worth that investment over showing it completely vacant? Now, I always say show it staged, and the stats back that up. So just a little bit of a dive here. I went into some different sources. According to zebra.com, 85% of staged homes sell for 5 to 23% more than their listing price. Realtor.com says staged homes sell 88% faster and for 20% more than non-staged homes. You're thinking, why is that? Well, you want it to seem livable. It's humans, we just buy things based on emotion, right? A lot of it comes down to emotion. So when we walk through a house, we want to be able to see how we could spend our days there. Really see, can I see myself using this area. I mean, it helps a lot with things like living rooms. Where are we going to put the TV? Well, if you have a TV placed, then they can kind of get a feel for the room, how they'd set up the couches and stuff. And like I said, it just makes people feel more at home. If it's vacant, it's cold, it's kind of dungy, they have a harder time feeling that warm feeling. You want them to feel that warm at-home feeling as soon as they walk through the door. You want them to feel the same way about it that you did when you bought it, right? So give them those warm and fuzzies. Make them buy with their heart. Stage your home. And if you can't, let's say you can't afford for a stager to come and, bring in a bunch of furniture, you can still have a stager through and they'll help you arrange the house. I mean, they'll help you arrange your decor, your furniture that they would see. They'll help you arrange your decor and your furniture in a way that they, as professionals, will help you get top dollar. So one of those other things that hire a professional, take the time, hire a professional. Again, I'm pretty sure that those the terrible to good photos that we saw earlier, I think they also had a stager through too, because the house was looking a lot better. So keep that in mind when you're out there and you're getting ready to sell your home. But I think that does it for episode 34. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. As always, please keep watching, commenting, subscribing. It all means a ton. I love getting the comments. I love reading. I love interacting with you guys. Until next time, I'm Blair Berg, and this has been the Real Estate Sit Down.